Welcome back to Loveland Report and Loner Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loner Ranger. We're giving you interest rate updates. We're giving you inventory updates. And now I'm going to give you some listings, some great buys. Realtors, remember, I want you to show my listings. I always pay a good co-broke. You don't have to worry about me trying to rob your pocketbook. First, Plymouth Sorrento Road. This house, no HOA, Bruce, half-acre lot, 1,300 square foot pool home for $347,900. Great house.
Beautiful.
Inside's all done. Backyard, nice big pool, nice big yard.
Could be a good starter home.
Extra garage. Yeah, I mean, pool home, no HOA, no work to be done for $350,000. I've got $259,900 in Orange City. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet, half-acre lot.
Wow.
This house was rented for $1,800. This seller said, hey, I'm out of the landlord business. He's retiring, moving away. And so $259,900 on that one. That rented for, we got $1,800 a month on that. You just about cash flow on that with 20% down instead of 30%. This is a beautiful one, Bruce. This is a new listing. Hadn't been on the show before. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, enormous 40 by 40 screen patio out back, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. And it's also got a den, but also a great split plan. You got the master and the den on one side, 2 bedrooms and a bath, and then an in-law wing. This is in Gotha, right on the edge of Metro West and Windermere. $579,000, 2,600 square feet, and gentlemen, a 3-car garage.
That is a bargain.
Yeah. And so, and this one right here, the kitchen, Bruce, has a big old snack bar that seats like 5 people and a breakfast nook.
A snack bar.
Well, I mean, just breakfast bar, you know, like on a granite countertop. And then it's got an island that seats 2 more. I mean, it's just an enormous kitchen. For usually you don't see kitchens this size in a house that's 2,700 square feet. Usually you see it in something that's 3,500 square feet. And then we go over to a Tuscaloosa, Oviedo area. This house is right next door to the high school and the middle school. $570,000, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths with a pool, 2,300 square feet. All of this work has been done on this. The roof was done a couple years ago. You got solar panels, hot water heater. Everything's been done on this. Beautifully decorated inside. Nice split plan for $570,000 in Oviedo with a pool out back. And then the best price on a lakefront home. Now, this is a fishing lake, not a ski lake. You're in Deltona. Water always protects your resale value, Bruce. You know that. You're lakefront. Of course. And they go for more. They're not making any more lakes. If they are, they're not that big. This one's beautiful. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square feet. And it's got a pool, and it's also got big, the master bedroom's enormous, Bruce. And then you got it's nicely done up. The master bathroom's been renovated. $325,000 for that. That is the best waterfront price.
Waterfront for $325,000.
That is the best. It's basically a view, or if you're a fisherman, you can hop out back or throw the pole in your backyard. But also, it is the best price for a pool home at this square footage, 2,000 square feet. Most of the other homes this price are about 1,500 square feet. So great buy on that one.
Investment.
And then this one here, Bruce, we were talking about this for $919,000, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. This is South Bay, just next to Bay Hill, 3,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. Oversized bedrooms, like all the bedrooms are almost the size of a master bedroom, Bruce. They're like 13 by 15.
You don't see that anymore.
The guest bath is the other 2 bathrooms besides the master bath are enormous. Everything views the pool. The glass sliders pocket away. There's 3 big glass sliders that pocket away so you can flow right out into the pool, screened-in pool area.
Gorgeous.
Tile roof, side and garage, and a circular drive, all for $919,000. So call me if you want to take a look at those. And you were talking about that. Let me give my number. It's 407-352-8118 and cleveloveland.com if you want to take a look at any of those, or realtors you need to call me with questions. And then we were talking about that. That's on the edge of being jumbo.
Well, right? You could put down 10% plus $10,000. So call it close to 11% down and have a conventional loan on that. You don't even have to have
and is that because the jumbo loan would be a little higher? The requirements are a little stricter?
Jumbo loan, really, interest rates aren't much higher. The qualifications are more strict. Your debt ratio qualifications can be a little tighter, but jumbo at 10% are definitely less attractive for interest rate. Jumbo at 20% down are pretty close to what a conventional rate. But if you want to put 10% down on a $919,000 house, what a great way to do it and get a conventional loan with only 10% down.
This is what all the buyers I start with and all the sellers that are going to buy again that I start with. I tell them, all right, they all have their idea of what they need to do with their financing when they start. They're like, oh my gosh, I need to put this much down. I'd say 9 out of 10, after they talk to you, they've got a different plan because you explain to them the right product. The interest rates are going to be better here. You need X amount for closing costs, all that stuff. You lay out the right product.
We lay out a complete game plan for you. But I want to talk about something. Yes, my team is so committed to making sure that the customer has the best experience, that the customer gets the best loan, not just, well, yeah, we have our 30-year fixed at this. Maybe that's the right thing for you to do. Maybe it's not, but my team really dives in and we help you determine what the best loan is. And by the way, I'm involved in every transaction that goes through my branch. Don't think because my team is gathering your pay stubs and W-2s that I'm not
You
involved.
have a meeting every day.
Every day
yeah.
I go over every
I go through
loan
the same
in
thing.
my pipeline. So I know exactly what's going on. But you mentioned something earlier about you have co-brokes on all your transactions.
Yes.
So I want to tell you a story that I have with a client that was making an offer on a home that wasn't paying the real estate agent the full commission. And we needed closing costs for the buyer.
Yeah.
So now, how are you going to get closing costs for the buyer if they're not even willing to pay the real estate agent that brought the deal to the table?
That's either a seller that doesn't know better because the agent didn't explain it, or a stubborn seller.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This seller, if it was the seller's idea, shame on you. You screwed yourself, because you no longer are going to be shown, and people need that money. So why don't you just build it into your price? You build it into your price. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Well, that's what's worked for 120 years.
That's what it's always done.
All these people tinkering with, it was the government that changed the laws about MLS compensation and didn't make anything really any better. It kind of complicated things. Now, I wish it would force, 3/4 of the agents out there, or 70%, didn't sell a home last year. Those people, if they didn't sell a home last year, they need to get out of the business.
Well,
and the market would move much better.
Well,
don't you agree?
Probably would,
because they might have had people in their car that kind of wasted their time instead of sitting that buyer down for a consultation, explaining all that, or explaining to the seller what really works and what doesn't.
I think that the seller, by reducing the co-broke to the buyer's agent, thinks that they're saving money, but I don't think they're saving money at all. I think they're costing themselves money because they're reducing the amount of people that are going to purchase that property.
Yeah.
So if you're reducing the amount of clientele that's going to thinking about buying your home, and some of them won't even look at, because I know some real estate agents, if you're not paying 2 3/4 or 2.5 or 3%, they're going to go pass, move on to another one.
They don't know how to structure the deal, and they don't know how to explain it to their buyer about what needs to be done. The listing agent obviously doesn't understand it, or they wouldn't have taken the listing.
Absolutely.
So it's
really, and that's what I'm referring to.
And I had couple of my investors, these two sweet little old ladies. We picked up a duplex, and I was wondering why it was sitting there, half a duplex. And it was sitting there on the market for a couple of months. And I'm like, why is that? And then after I talked to the agent, they weren't offering any co-broke. Well, so I knew it was a good price at what it was, but most agents just think, oh, no co-broke, I'm not going to show it. They don't know how to structure the deal. So this is what's important about when you pick your realtor. Pick somebody that has a plan for you, somebody that helps out at least 30 to 40 families a year, or many more times that, like us. And you got to know these things going in, and that will save a lot of time. Most of my time, Bruce, is spent educating the other agent as to why we're asking $899 for that house. And here's the last couple comps, and your offer for $800 does not make sense.
Incredible.
I am fighting. Most of what I do is negotiate a better deal than anybody else could. I just got a listing last week that literally they thought the neighborhood specialist, because I don't hang out in one neighborhood. There's literally, I help people in 6 counties. And I had,
like the part-time realtor
but one
that
guy
lives in a community,
one guy
and that's
in this
the only community they
and
sell.
this is the only one. And then when I showed them that most of his listings were selling about 50,000 off list price, almost 10%, 8 to 10% below list price, which is not normal. Most homes sell about 3% off.
Yes.
And or they were on the market for 5 to 9 months. They're like, oh wow, we thought he was the neighborhood expert. And when I showed them my listings and how mine go with, within a couple of weeks, and for 98% of list price, or a full price, and we might have paid 1% in closing costs. When I explained that to them, they saw, okay, that's better representation, and they chose me.
Much better.
So very, it's kind of like choosing the right loan rep. I got a vague pre-qual from an internet lender on one of my listings last week, and it was a decent offer. But I said, hey, I can't do this. This lender in another state, online, whatever it is, I can't do this. And also the loan didn't quite make sense. I also had a sales price 50,000 below where we're at. I'm like, hey, your offer's great, but my seller's not going to sign it until we get a local loan rep. Right. And I gave them your number. And I'm like, I need somebody that I trust, that I know, that does this every day of the week, not in their pajamas watching Jerry Springer in the garage. in their man cave that works part-time and does
Well,
one
I don't
loan a
think
month.
the general population understands that, though, because I think they look at that and they're going, the conventional wisdom would be, we need to shop for an interest rate. And I think you should shop for an interest rate. I think when a client comes to me and goes, hey, Bruce, I'm just going to be transparent, I am shopping. Well, I expect that you're
Yeah.
shopping. I would think that any intelligent buyer is shopping an interest rate, but you have to shop one that's legit, not one that's illegit. And the people that get, if it sounds too good to be true, it's going to screw you.
Yeah.
You're going to get screwed. And that lender is going to bait and switch you at the end. And you and I see it all the time, but it's hard to convince a client to see that,
Well, the
because
bait and
they're looking
switch,
at the lowest
would you
possible
agree
rate.
that the bait and switches are the big banks and the internet lenders?
I think that the internet lenders are the worst culprits. Mortgage brokers are absolutely horrendous for that. But I do think that a lot of it is the big players. And the reason for that is they think they have a deal structured a certain way. And then when they look at it, it can't really be structured that way. And that's why you can't get them that rate. And so you got to go to somebody that you can count on. Okay. My rates aren't higher than other lenders. My rates are right in the
But I
market.
think the right product can be the right thing. It's like you got chest pain, you need a prescription. You don't want something, to treat your sore elbow.
No, you need somebody
right
that's
products.
got a track record of getting their clients to the table too. And that's where I come in strong. Am I going to tell everybody I have the lowest rates in town? My rates are perfect. They are right where they need to be.
Yep.
Based on where the market is on that day.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. When you come to me and you can't trick me. But you can be tricked, the client, but you can't trick me because I know what's available. And when a client comes to me and says, I got this other lender quoting me this rate, I know in 100% whether that deal's going to happen or not. But the client doesn't, and they may not feel like, well, what's Bruce telling me? He's telling me it can't happen, but the other guy's telling me it can happen. What do I do?
Well, the buyers usually want, when they get in pre-qual, they usually want the path of least resistance, which is the guy on the phone that says, oh yeah, sounds great. He has no documents. He might have pulled credit or he might not have. And that's when I look at the pre-qual letter. You got to know how to read that, because I get a lot of transactions, Bruce, where I've got the offer in my hands and it looks okay. And we're going to work out. I know we're going to make this contract work at that price. And are we out of time?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And I can tell by what's on the letter that they haven't either gotten the documents or they're not the right lender for the deal. So call me at 407-352-8118. Or if you need a loan arranger,
well, you can reach me now at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. I want to talk about who's getting scammed in the market, where the opportunities are in the market, and how to convert an asset into an income stream for you retired folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.